Welcome back. We're here with Ivan from Serenity Realty in Maumee, Ohio. Ivan, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Easton. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. It's
Good.
awesome to chat with you.
Yes.
So you've been running Serenity since 2018. How did all of this start for you?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, it's actually a long story, but I was first licensed in 2004. I joined a traditional brokerage, and I think my first year in the real estate business, I was on a traditional 50-50 split. So I made $19,000, and the company I was at made $19,000 my first year, which was pretty good for your first year. Then I went off and, then a national franchise called me and said, "Hey, you want 100% of your money?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Pay me $1,100 a month." So I did that for a couple of years. And what I found out is that I just didn't get the tools that I needed to be successful at any of these brokerages. So I ended up falling out of the business in 2008 when the market crashed. Went to wait tables at a high-end steak and seafood restaurant right here locally. I did very well. I did that for 3 years. In the middle of that, though, I call it like the worst 3 years of my life because I did spiral out of control because I had failed out of the real estate industry. I had broke up with a 10-year relationship. I was back to waiting tables. So I just started partying. I just started going out every night with all the other servers and partying and getting drunk. And I developed an alcohol issue that I had that we'll talk about later, but I'm telling you the real estate story now. So in the middle of that, I ended up waiting on a broker in town who said, "Why aren't you in the business? You were doing a really good job." I said, "Well, all the brokers took my money and they didn't tell me what to do." So he joined me. We reactivated my license, and I joined a team, one of the largest teams in our area. And I went to training every single Tuesday night. Learned the systems that I needed to learn to be successful. I incorporated internet leads into my business, and I flourished. The first year back on the team, I think I helped 33 families with home ownership, with the dream of home ownership. 77 the next year and 88 the third year.
Jeez.
And then I was back to a traditional 50-50 split. So at the end of the third year, I looked at the numbers and I made 138,000. I think he made 100 and some thousand. So it was time for me to leave the team. So I left the team, started my own team. Through that, my first year back, running my own team, we did 108 deals and we made $250,000. So we figured it out. We figured out the recipe on how to be successful in the real estate industry. And then through the alcohol journey, and my husband, he has a recovery journey also. We just want to give back. So we opened up Serenity Realty with the 8 of us on our team. And our 2 missions of the whole company was to give every agent every tool to be successful and to not take all the agents' money so that they could go and do stuff with the money. So we started with 8 agents, and I think today we have 160 plus agents at our brokerage, and I think we're top for all of 2023. We were top 3 in transactions and top 5 in volume out of 125 different brokerages in our area. So I mean, we're just really proud of where we were, what happened, and where we're at now.
That's awesome. And
did I answer your question?
yes, you did. Yes. Okay. And you transitioned from being an agent to owning your own brokerage with, like you said, 160 plus agents. What was that transition like?
Well, the first year I only had the 8, and then I had one top producer, a good friend of mine to this day. He's been with us for 5 years plus now, is Zach Dilworth. And Zach had already had a name in the industry. So when him and I did a deal together, and we got a little, we'd already always been buddies, but when he asked me to go to coffee and he asked me about joining Serenity, I was floored. I never thought in a million years anybody was going to want to join us. So he's what started it. I think that's what started the plug out of the jug. That was the shot across the industry that said, okay, we're actually going to be a real life brokerage.
Yeah.
So Zach joined us, Nicole Ostafin joined us, Andrew Fall joined us. I mean, and then it just started happening. So then when we had about 50 agents, that's when I had to bring on another helper. So Patrick Kajowski is our associate broker. He's my right hand. He's one of my best friends. He's literally what helped us go to the next level because he was able to manage the day-to-day operations while I went out and grabbed all these agents and started changing their lives with the money and the systems to be successful.
That's awesome. And it's really good to see, that you actually care and you give a shit about people, and not only like the real estate side, but the human side. And you also have a title company and a property management company. Why did you decide to create those companies and have it in-house?
Oh, that's a great question. Somebody came to me 3 years ago and said, let's do property management. And I said, no way. I didn't want to do property management. Tenants calling and all that.
Yeah.
They said, let's just try it. So we started with 8 units and we ended up with 100 units within the first year. And I saw how lucrative it was, but they need help too. The owners of the properties that we're managing need help because they don't live here. They live in California, Arizona, Texas, Egypt. You know, they're not coming here to close on the property. They're not coming here to walk through the property. They need a management company to actually take care of their asset, and that's where we came in. We turned our whole vision into actually caring about the owners and giving them the money back. So just like the brokerage, when we set it up, it was $4,000 a year and 100% of your commission. That's not a lot of money. It's one of the best deals in town. We wanted the property management to be the same way, but also the tenants. Okay, so the tenants, that's their place to live. You know, if they have leaky pipes and the toilet is loose or they have water coming in somewhere, we need to be on top of that, you know, as a property management company. So now we have 600 plus units. We have a whole portfolio of owners that are thrilled with us because I think the numbers just came out yesterday. We paid them over $3 million last year back in their pocket, which is unheard of. Because I think the consensus around Northwest Ohio is that all the property management companies suck. It's just which one sucks the least. So I guess we are one of the ones that suck the least. But all in all, it's been very lucrative and it's very great. And that's not with gouging people and feeing our owners to death and charging our tenants for everything. I mean, we work with all of our tenants and our owners that we manage are very happy. Title company the same exact way. We did 1,500 transactions and we saw all the other title companies in town. They're all good. They're all bad. You know, you can't get a consistent service with any one of them. So we opened up our own right here in-house. 2 attorneys came to me and said, let's open up a title company, a top producer at our company. We all sat down and we joined we opened up Journey Title. And then with the 600 units, we had to buy a maintenance company. That's because awesome. With 600 units, that's 600 toilets and electrical and light switches and keys and locksmith. So that's sort of our little in-house package. That's where we're at today, East.
Yes, I really like that. The fact that you guys saw a problem and was like, how do we fix this? How do we change this? Well, what can we do better? What do we not like about the industry, and how can we improve it? And what differentiates Serenity versus other brokers?
Well, 100% hands down is the culture. You know, there's a lot of companies in town that, you know, treat you like a number, like you join the military. You get these automatic emails and there's no place to go to. But we knew that when we opened up that we needed to create a culture from the top down on agents first. So that's one of our that's in our mission statement. It's one of our core values is it's agents first. So the support that a Serenity Realty agent gets is unheard of. I mean, they have me, they have my husband, Matt, they have Patrick, they have our new agent development, Leanne, we have a full-time staff girl, and we answer our phone at 7 o'clock at night when our agent's ass is on fire because they have a problem at 7:30 at night. All they got to do is pick up the phone. And if I don't answer, they'll call Matt, he'll answer. If they don't answer, they'll call Patrick, they'll get somebody. And by the time they're calling the third person, I'm calling them back. You know, so it's the support and the environment. And then we didn't take all their money. So if agents are starting out and they're just getting up and running, why take all their money? Let them. So we give them most of their money back and let them spend their money on marketing and advertising and do some of the things that I wasn't able to do because I didn't have no money when I was starting out. I was broke, you know. So I think the culture and the environment and the training, you know, our training program has been proven. I mean, our average new agent sells 20.6 houses a year. You know, that's in their first year. The national average is 4.
Jeez.
So our agents are definitely selling houses, and we're rocking the real estate industry because my competitors in town, they're watching us. They're watching our numbers. They see where we're at. And, you know, we're just creating an environment that all agents are welcome. We're one of the most diversified companies in the area, too. We have like 8 to 10 bilingual agents, Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish, Urdu, Mandarin. I mean, everybody has a seat at our table, and we just love it. So we just stand out by the culture. I mean, I literally hug all the agents when they come in. I know who their spouses are. I know who their kids are. You know, and that's what I think differentiates, and they can call us for anything. You know, we give them the training in the beginning, but when their ass is on fire, they need somebody. We're their safety net. Yes. You know, we have a big 15,000 square foot office that they can come to. We have workstations and computers set up. We just make it very comfortable.
That's the thing I'm most impressed is that you answer the phone. You're busy. You have 160 agents, but if I call you or my mother calls you, you're on it. You're answering the phone, and it's very impressive. And you also mentioned that you are running the company with your husband, Matt.
Yeah.
How important is it to have that person that's supportive next to you for success?
Well, you need him. Like he does the complete back end of the property. You know, that's where his aces in their places. Matt's very detail oriented. Matt takes care of all the compliance. So when all the agents submit their paperwork to be reviewed, Matt reviews it. Matt's also our Michigan broker. I'm the Ohio broker, and he's the Michigan
awesome.
broker. But he's in charge of our whole compliance department. So all the paperwork that gets submitted has to be reviewed by him. And that's probably one of the negatives at Serenity Realty is we're so diligent about our paperwork. They say, oh, the compliance department, but paperwork is the most important part of the job because we have to protect our clients, our agents, and myself. You know, so I think the compliance, and then Matt has the mindset literally that he does not go to bed at night until he ACHs the agent their money into their account because he knows what it's like just starting out and how you need your money. And he knows that if all your paperwork's submitted, he's not going to just go to bed and wait till the next day because it takes another 24 hours. He gets the agents their money quickly and efficient, but they have to have their paperwork submitted.
That's awesome. And
So it's hand in hand, and then I do the whole front end. I do
Yes.
this kind of stuff. I do the meets and greets. I do I do some of the training. I meet with agents. And I answer phone calls for 160 agents
Yes.
that need help. So that's what we're doing.
And why did you decide to choose the name Serenity?
That's even a better question. It'll be 10 years, April 24th, that I've had a sip of alcohol. And
Congrats.
thank you. And when I got back into the business, when I was waiting tables, going out drinking every night, I was literally a 7-day-a-week drunk. I wasn't the drunk that had to stay at home and sit in my house with a bottle of vodka. I went out to the bars. I had to be the social life. And once I got into recovery, I figured it all out. I was always the short, fat, big-nosed gay kid growing up. So I got picked on literally my whole life. So the minute I got booze into me, it changed my personality. It put this cape on me like I was some superhero. So I did that from 16 till 34 until someone said, hey, you might want to look at this drinking problem. Yeah. So, I went to a recovery meeting and I realized that I was definitely, after 3 DUIs, a bunch of drunken disorderlies, some public intoxications, I just did not drink. I'm allergic to alcohol. I tell people I break out in handcuffs, so during that process, in my recovery program, it's a 12-step program. I had to complete 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I had to dig through and see, I had to fix the problem before I went on. So once I fixed the problem and found out the reasons why I drank, committed to my 12-step program, I turned my life over to a higher power. You can call it God, you can call it earth, you can call it whatever you want. But I was doing a very shitty job of running my life. So I turned it over to something else. And it's been a roller coaster for the past 10 years. I gave the wheel to somebody else, and there was no business plan to create all this success. It just all happened, So it's been a wild ride for sure. So back to the Serenity Prayer is the one prayer that I had said probably over 1 million times during my journey in recovery. And so when we were thinking of a name, everyone came to me with all these tier and these little house things, and then finally I said, no, I want Serenity Realty. So we named it Serenity Realty after the Serenity Prayer. And serenity to me in the beginning was a palm tree and sun and the beach.
Yeah.
So we made this beautiful logo on it. Well, once we got bigger, I started getting complaints about the logo. So we just rebranded last year to a really nice, crisp Serenity Realty, and we got rid of the island that was Serenity to me. But, sometimes you got to give a little, it just wasn't. I got called it looked like Mickey Mouse. It was cartoonish, so we just went crisp and professional. Being a top 5 brokerage now, we just thought that was necessary. But Serenity Prayer, Serenity Realty, that's where we got it. Journey title, it was for, we want to be included on everyone's journey.
Yes. I like that. And I like that it has a meaning. Like, it's not just, just some random thing you picked out. It has a meaning, which then people can get behind that why, get behind wow, this guy actually has values put into his business. And you mentioned that you struggled with addiction. For someone that is out there that is struggling and they just cannot get clean in whatever addiction they're struggling with, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
Well, everybody says that, they want to go off into a treatment center, or they want to go to Malibu for this recovery center or not. But you don't need health insurance or anything. You can go to any recovery meeting. There's 600 of them locally here, and it only costs $1, and it's only a suggested donation, so they pass the bucket. But I'll tell you what, when I started going to those meetings, I realized, A, that I wasn't as bad as I thought I was, and B, that a lot of people have it way worse off than I do, and that my addiction, this story, not just when doing this interview, but when I go back to meetings, I help people by sharing my story, because we tell what happened, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. And and I blame all of the success on whatever God that I prayed
Yeah.
to turn my life over, and to the recovery program, because now drinking is like completely out of my life. I'm still around people that drink. Some of our events, they have drinks, but it's just worked itself out of my life. I don't even think about it. I just show up.
Yeah.
That's really what I do. Now, there's some stuff in the morning that I have to do every morning. I have to say some devotionals. I have to give it over every morning. I have to go do some exercising. I have to eat right. That's another thing. I don't know if you wrote that question down, but I am just shy of losing 100 pounds
Yes,
in 3
that is
years.
my next question,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, once I figured out that I could quit drinking, then I found out I could be successful in real
Yes.
estate. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to quit smoking. Then I was like, I'm 250 pounds. I got to lose some weight, or I'm going to be, I got on a scale. It's actually a funny story. I posted something on Facebook that said I was too fat to clip my toenails. So randomly, this young lady messaged me, and her message was very nice, but I took it as, you're fat, you need to lose weight, so come in and see me. So I
Yeah.
went and saw her, and she put me on this digital scale, and it told me how much I weighed. It told me my visceral fat, told me my body fat, and I was floored. I just couldn't believe that I had let myself go out of shape. So I made a New Year's resolution 3 years ago, and I started eating right, 1,500 calories, 160 grams of protein. I started going to the gym. I lost 20 pounds. Then I started getting good at it. So it wasn't a New Year's resolution anymore. It was a
Yeah.
complete lifestyle change. So I'm 154 pounds. If I got to 148, that'll be 100 pounds, and I've done that in 3 years. But really, with this 12-step program and turning my life over, and just being able to believe in myself to be able to do something, that's really been the key to even the weight loss journey success.
Yeah. And like you've lost, like you said, a bunch of weight. Was there like one thing that you really did that helped you lose it, or was it a whole bunch of things together?
It was really two things. I didn't know how to eat right, and I didn't know how to exercise. So I had to ask for help in both of those areas. So I had to go to a nutritionist, and she had to say, you have to eat 5 times a day to kickstart your metabolism. Small meals, high protein, low calorie, and she gave me examples. And
Yeah.
I'd be eating hummus, and I'd eat protein bars, and I'd have a protein shake, and chicken, 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 chicken. It's nice to not eat chicken now, because now that I'm down to my weight, I also know that every 3,500 calories above and beyond my maintenance will gain a pound. Okay, never in this 3 years have I been eating 3,500
That's
calories
awesome.
in one day to like gain that weight. I don't
Yeah.
splurge and all that. I still have a cookie, or I'll have a cheeseburger, but I balance it throughout the day. It's just because. And then at the gym, I knew nothing to do. I looked like an idiot. I was afraid what people would look at me. But it's guys like you on TikTok, and guys that I follow that that tell me this is what beginners do. Like, we get your fat, so you do this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I did that, and I started dropping some weight, and then the exercise. I can even do pull-up bars now.
Nice. That's
Like, I'm
awesome.
floored, at where this journey is taking me, and I'm not done. I'm ready to dive into the next step. Now I've gotten the weight off. I got some jiggles. Now I want to tone up and actually do some like calisthenic workout to like
Yes.
try to help it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take your suggestion.
That's awesome. I have 2 more questions. If you could have dinner with 2 people, one person from the past and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
Well, I don't know. That one stumped me. I really like Ryan Serhant. Now, Ryan Serhant is a real estate coach. He's got my energy and personality. He's on Bravo. I just met him. I took a
saw
picture with
that.
him at
Yes.
a conference. I'm including a whole coaching program with him. So if I could have lunch with him to pick his brain, I would absolutely love to, because he's a real estate conglomerate. Now, they have all these other old coaches, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, all those guys. They're all great, but he's new blood.
Yeah.
He has got a story like mine. He went to New York as a hand model and fell on his face. He was broke, and then he started leasing commercial agents. Now he has 60 brokerages across Industries on Bravo. I mean, he's just got a great story. So I guess I'd like to see him. In past, probably an older relative that I didn't get to spend as much time with. I was young when all my grandparents died. So I mean, I had a couple fill-in grandmas and grandpas, but I never really got to know my grandma and grandpas. And everyone said, "Oh, your grandma would love you," and I'd love your grandma, but she died a year before me. So I'd probably like to meet her, if I could go back and meet somebody.
I like that. I always like the family ones when people are like, oh, I want to meet this guy or this guy. One more question.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
Oh, because I believe in you, Easton. I follow
you.
you, and it's not so. That's how we got here. That's how the property management got here. That's how title got here. It's because somebody came to me and said, "Hey, let's do this." I didn't come to you and say, "Hey, let's do an interview about my life." You came to me and said, "Let's do it." But I want to help and support you. So if there's a discount program that it'll save our agents money, save their clients any kind of money, I'm all in. That's really what it's about. I've always been a supporter of you and your mom, and I love watching your journey, and I'm not going to stop. I love every video I see of yours, because I just enjoy
Thank you.
watching you.
I appreciate the kind words. Well, that's all the questions I have. How can people reach you, and what is like your last statement you would want to make to people?
Well, anybody can do the real estate. If I can do it, I went from a 7-day-a-week blackout drunk, shoving as much cocaine as I possibly could in my nose, to being successful in real estate, turning my life completely around. Not only being able to sell 100 houses a year, but being able to teach it and grow it and help people out. So if you're debating about ever thinking that you can do that, I don't want anybody to think, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's what I want to leave you with. And second is, Serenity Realty has a website, serenityrealty.com. My cell phone number, it's all over the world. So it's 419-290-9085. Anybody can email me, ivansmithbroker@gmail.com. If anybody's struggling with any kind of addiction or alcohol stuff, please reach out. That I'll kill my whole day. I'll cancel the whole schedule to go help somebody in recovery. That's what our tribe does, and so that's very special to me. And anything I can do to help, I always leave people with, what can I do for you? Easton, what can I do for you?
I like that.
What can I do for you?
We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.